Welcome back. Multi-view drawing 5, page 124. There's 7 drawings on this in this assignment. We're working on the last drawing on page 124C, that section. I've got that open up here. That's figure 579, no paper box. We're gonna scale this or draw it and dimension it and give me full dimensions on this. I know all stock is 1/4 inch. A to B is 6 5/8. Talking about A to B to here. B to C is at the end. That's 4 5/8. B to D is 1 inch. Talking about B to D. D to E is a 1/2 inch. Talking about this little spot right here. F is 1/4 of an inch. G to H on this side is 1 1/2. Drawing all the necessary views, you need a front side, which is this side this time. The right side, which is going to be this side. Actually, it's going to be this side. Technically, that's your left. But in order to be able to get that turned to where we can see that edge, we need to see that in the right side. I can actually do this one on this side. This is our right side, so I'd use this one. Now we are going to dimension it, and we are going to put the initial inlay in there. So put your last name, initial, right here. We're going to create a circle in there. And so the circle size is not measured. Just make your monogram, your last letter of the first letter of your last name, show up in a circle that's big enough to be seen without me having to zoom in on it. All right, so let's go to the drawing. All right, so the first thing I did is I created my 0 point. I'm going to offset that horizontal line up 1 inch because I know that thickness of that end, the whole side, is 1 inch. Now you see how far I'm zoomed out there, right? Now I know I can offset this one the distance of 4 5/8. B to C is 4 5/8. Let's go to our drawing and do that. 4.625, 4.625. Now, we'll zoom in a little bit. Now I'm going to go ahead and offset my 2 inch mark here for my right side view, and I'm going to go ahead and get back to this. I'm going to offset the thickness of the bottom material 0.25 because you're going to need a hidden line down there. Get back to my drawing example. D to E is 1/2 inch. So I can offset this line here 0.5. Offset this one 0.5. Let's just make sure I got that to the right side there. Yep, I have it to the right side. Now let's go back to our drawing real quick. I need to check something here. I know this material here is 1 inch wide by 1/4 inch thick, but I also have a piece up here that sits on top of that. So I need to get back to my drawing real quick before I go too far. Need to offset that by 0.25 up. Now I'm going to get my construction line, my object lines, and start blocking things in. I want to change the color. I just want to change it to the layer. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. That was wrong. I need to come out a little bit more. I'll let my line go. Now, what I need to do now is I need to go ahead and trace over that construction line, over that 1/4 inch line. So I want to know the midpoint of that line. Then go to my object line layer, because I'm not even going to do the construction line for that. Turn off my ortho. I need to go back and redo that. Change back to my object line layer. Turn my ortho back off. And that's why I drew that construction line in here from this side to this side to give me the midpoint. And now I'm going to add that top piece here. And give me just a second. All right, so sorry about that. So we finish up the front view of this. What you're seeing here is the front edge of that piece with the monogram, which is here. This is the edge here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the front view. Now remember, each one of these pieces is a 1/4 inch thick, and G to H is 1 1/2. So we're drawing a box that is A to B, which is 6 5/8, plus 1/4 inch, all right? Because you notice A to B, B is right here at this corner. So 6 5/8, we got to come back in 1/4. 6 5/8 by 4 5/8. So let's go ahead and get our box drawn. So we'll all set up 2 inches. Zoom out. Actually, let's go backwards. That's a little too far there. That's going to get extraordinarily long. Let's offset it 1 1/2. 1.5. If I can get my fingers to work right. 1.5. There we go. And now we know the length of that is going to match up, or the width of that's going to match up. Now we're going to offset this now 6.625. We're going to offset this one 1/4 inch, 0.25, 0.25 this way, .25 this way, and now I'm going to offset this one here for the distance of the inlay tray. G to H, I'm going to offset it 1 1/2 at the top up here. .5. Now, I'm just going to basically just start doing my object lines now, which I never got off my object line layer. I will tell you to be careful because I'm operating on no ortho. meaning I'm could go off any second. Now, if you go back to the drawing example, it shows this end is capped off, and this is one solid line across through here. That's what I was trying to remember. Panning and scrolling at the same time. And we'll zoom out. Now there is a line right here in the middle that you're going to draw, but I figured you did not need the construction line to show you that because you've got that line and you got your midpoint, and that's exactly where the line's going to be drawn. Excuse me. It would help if my line up here was the same length as the other line. Now basically just going to show you that V on that front. And then I'm just going to slide this down, change my hidden lines. Because you'll see that as a hidden line because you know that's underneath there. Now you also need to offset this line here in 0.25. And you're going to do a construction line from here to here. Now I think I did that one wrong because here's what you got to pay attention to when you're doing your drawing. You don't see a line coming over here, so you know the back side of this is actually covering up the edge of that. So I did that right, I think. Yep, I did that one right. And now I'm going to change back to my object line layer. And go to a diameter hole. Right there in the center. And let's do about a 1.5 inch, 1.5 diameter circle. Nope, that's too big. Let's do a 1 inch diameter circle. I don't know what I just typed, but let's hit escape and delete. Let's start over again. Let's do a 0.75 or a 3/4 inch diameter. That's better. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put my monogram in here. I'll hit check on there. And now I can move it around inside of that. Now if you want to make it bigger, let's type in, say, 0.625. And I think that will be just good enough to fill that hole. And I got to move that. Nope, don't want to move both of them. I just want to move that one. So let's go back to move again. Now, one object, specify base point. There we go. That's the top view finished. Go back out. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to offset 1/4 inch for this device right here for the thickness of that end. It's already got 1/4 inch, so let's go that way. I'm going to offset this line 6 5/8. 6.625. I'm going to offset that one back this way 1/4 inch. And now I'm just basically just blocking things in here. The only thing I got left to do here is I got to offset this line here for G to H, 1 1/2. Or 1.5. Then hit escape. Get my line tool again. Now we need to show the thickness, which need to show this line right here because it does on the example. Now let's go back and turn off our construction lines. Center in on our drawing, whole drawing. Hidden lines, hidden lines. Now, the inlay, if this was actually an inlay, you would see a hidden line here. But since we don't know what the shape of that's going to look like because that G and that circle, what we'll say it's not an inlay, it's a decal. Okay? But we also need to go back down here and do our hidden lines here. We got to do our hidden lines on our front and our side view. Let's turn our construction lines on. Go back and finish that real quick. Let's go to hidden lines. Get your line tool. We got to show that hidden line for that bottom of that too. So I guarantee you I can't guarantee you there's a dado on there. So what I have to do is I have to bring that back to this edge because I know if all they did was butted that together and nailed up on the sides with no dado in there, it's going to be just nailed in there. But this part goes all the way down because it's 1 inch thick. Now we do know that the yellow line or the hidden line goes here because we don't know if there's a dado in there or not. We can't assume that. We know there's a hidden line here as well because that back comes all the way to the bottom. Now let's go back and turn our construction lines off. Get our dimension line layer. Now we know that dimension. We know that dimension. Oh, there is one thing I need to go back and do though. Forgot about it. Is it something I need to dimension here? I told you I forget things all the time. Sorry. My little bitty mark right there on either side. And I didn't remember it until actually I had to go back and start dimensioning. And I'm like, oh, I forgot something here. And while I'm here, let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to change it to the color. I just want to change it to the layer. This is what I had to change right here. Now, see what it told us if it was actually a dado in there. And since they didn't say there was a dado in there, we cannot assume there's one there. We know now that our height of this is 1 inch. And then the thickness of that material is 1/4 inch. I know the width of this is 4 5/8, but I also need to know that 1 inch right there. So first thing I need to do is I need to delete that and redo that and drag it down further. Because I got 2 dimensions here that need to be there as well. I had to zoom in a little bit. No. All right, so it doesn't give any other dimensions than that. It does give you the length of it though. I can give you that in the top or the right side. Primarily, I want to give it to you on the right side. So this is figure 579. We'll save that one as page 124. Figure 579. Note letter box. Any questions? I'll be walking around. See if you need any help.